Hey everyone, this is my eighth video documenting my process of working on the Figma UI challenge. And today I am expanding on the previous flow which I created. So last time I was able to create this filter card to pop up, but now I went in ahead and as you can see, I prototyped different sections of it. So one another section was ratings. I identified the UI elements, how they work, and what their affordances and what do they signify. So let's take a look at this particular element, rating element. So in this, in itself, this is just a different list of different sections. But once you select it, it turns to a different color with a bar there, which signifies that okay, this has been selected, and there its affordance is that the user can afford to click on it basically. Once the user click on it, this section here gets changed to filter by, right? This whole section changes to this particular section. So uh, what happens is when I'm creating the design library, I'm thinking in this way, so I can make in this particular way. So if you look at this, so what happens is when I'm working on the design library, I think in this particular direction. I try to think in this particular direction, so that when I'm creating the components, I'm working on it like that only. So if you take a look at here, so I've created these sections and variants for these. So this is what I have done for two of the sections right now. And even in itself, and even if we go into a little more depth, you can see that there are small dots, and these dots also work as a signifier that okay, there is something which is already selected here. So it is visually communicating something, and it has a lot of impact, and it is something which also need to be included, and I have created variants for it in that way only. So in the end, once you click on apply, the filters get applied. So here, this particular element signifies that three filters have been actually selected, and the user can understand it because it is inside that proximity of that filter chip, and it visually communicates that point. Also, there is a feedback that this thing has been applied because when you look at the first element here, this thing has a white background, and once something has been applied, some filter has been applied, you can see there is a change in the color, which is a visual feedback, as well as extra things like the number as well. In an aggregation of all these things, this thing communicates, okay, these are the filters applied, and you can also remove it by clicking on it. So this is what I did in today's challenge, and I can show you the prototype quickly. So here is the prototype, and if I click on filter, this thing pops up. Now I can select between these. So it's a radio button, it should act at, you can only select it at one time, but it, in order to lessen the complication, I've kept it like this only. Once I click on ratings, I can directly select ratings from here, and there are checkboxes for them, and that is also a part of the variant of this component only. So when I select that, I can practically select multiple of those. So once I click on apply, this will pop up, and you can see that this works perfectly fine, and you can see all the elements are working except this one particular icon for which I didn't have the asset to. So I had to just use the image. So there is a little bit of color discrepancy, but that I'll fix, and I'm documenting all the learnings, and I'm also documenting all the problems which I'm facing, and I'll be going back to it and fixing those particular problems related to prototypes, to the component properties, and I'm working as we go through the challenge. Thank you.